While South Central, 1992, was praised for its earnest intentions and powerful central performance by Glenn Plummer, one of its most significant shortcomings lies in its reliance on melodrama and narrative cliches. The film's plot often veers into predictable territory, following a well-trodden path of a man corrupted by gang life, imprisoned, and then seeking redemption. The transformation of the protagonist, Bobby Johnson, from a hardened killer to a reformed father feels both abrupt and overly simplified. His enlightenment in prison, spurred by the mentorship of a Muslim inmate, happens with a speed that strains credulity, glossing over the deep psychological complexities of such a profound change and making his journey feel less earned and more like a convenient plot device. The film also suffers from underdeveloped secondary characters who often function as one-dimensional archetypes rather than fully realized individuals. The antagonist, Ray Ray, is portrayed as an almost cartoonishly evil figure, a purely corrupting influence with little backstory or motivation beyond greed and a lust for power. Conversely, Bobby's prison mentor, Ali, is depicted as an almost saintly figure of wisdom and patience. This lack of nuance in the supporting cast creates a simplistic moral universe that undermines the film's gritty realism. The characters surrounding Bobby serve more as symbolic representations of good and evil than as believable people, which flattens the emotional impact of his struggle. Furthermore, critics pointed to an inconsistent tone and a lack of the raw, atmospheric energy that defined its more successful contemporaries like Boys and the Hood. The film struggles to balance its grim depiction of street violence with its more sentimental, message-driven scenes. This tonal whiplash can be jarring, as the narrative shifts from brutal acts of violence to moments that feel more akin to an after-school special. The pacing can feel sluggish, and the film lacks the sense of lived-in authenticity and environmental pressure that made other films in the genre so compelling, causing it to feel less like a window into a specific world and more like a collection of familiar scenes. Finally, South Central was often criticized for its heavy-handed and didactic approach to its themes. The film's message about the cycle of violence and the importance of fatherhood, while undeniably positive, is delivered with a lack of subtlety that can feel preachy. Dialogue often serves to explicitly state the movie's moral lessons rather than allowing them to emerge organically from the characters' actions and experiences. This tendency to sermonize turns the film from a powerful human drama into a message movie, where the story and characters become secondary to the lesson being taught, ultimately diminishing the overall impact of its important social commentary.